Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This is our regular January meeting of the Madison County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, January the 17th, 2023. It's 8:30. We're meeting at the West Tennessee Research and Educational Center, 605 Ayers Boulevard, in room 150 in good old Jackson, Tennessee. We'll all stand. Mr. Wall.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Pastor Andy Neely from West Jackson-Madison Church here with us this morning. He's been the lead pastor there for almost 11 years.
I was asked to come and pray, but when I got here this morning, Jeff said I could do a devotion or something. But,
You sure can. Go right ahead.
Well, I didn't know that, so you're off the hook. But anyway, I have a scripture that I read this morning. I think it'd be fitting for you to hear today. It's in Luke chapter 12. It says, "Don't strive for what you should eat and what you should drink, and don't be anxious. But seek his kingdom, and these things will be provided for you." Let's pray together. Father, we're thankful for a new day. And Father, we just want to step back and recognize that you are the creator of every day, Lord. You are the sustainer of all things. And from you are at the very beginning, and you have no end. You know all things. You see all things. And so, Father, we humbly come before you, just recognizing our need this morning. I lift up these county commissioners and the leaders of our city as they seek to build up our city. Father, that you would grant them wisdom, Lord, that you would help them to see what you see, Lord, that you would help them to restore what's broken, Father, that you would give them vision for what's ahead. Father, I pray that you would just grant them mercy and grace today, Lord, to be good stewards of all that you have entrusted to them. And Father, they would seek to honor you in everything that they do. And in their own lives, Lord, they would seek you above all things. Lord, you can be trusted with everything else. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call.
Abernathy.
Here.
Hayday.
Here.
Alexander.
Here.
Arnold.
Yes.
Black. Stein.
Here.
Brown.
Yeah.
Bryant Cindy.
Here.
Bryant Mike.
Present.
Deaton.
Here.
Ellison.
Here.
Godwin. Hill.
Here.
Hall.
Here.
Hicks.
Present.
Johnson.
Here.
Jones.
Present.
Martin. Mercer.
Present.
Montague. Neoff.
Here.
Petty. Taylor.
Here.
Tippett.
Here.
Wall.
Here.
21 present, Mr. Chairman. 21 present.
21 present, 4 absent. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes on December the 19th? Commissioner Brown,
Second.
have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 3, presentation by County Mayor.
No presentation.
No presentation. Announcement from the chair. I got one announcement. One of our great employees for the county had a birthday today, I believe. Where's Mike Winslow? Mike, stand up. Stand up, Mike. I want y'all to know that Mike Winslow represents old people real well. Thank you, Mike. Hey, Gary. Item number 5, an announcement from school superintendent.
I have a message today. Last
All
month
right.
I didn't have a message, so I thought I'd bring up a message this month to submit to the commission. As you all know, there's a body of research that correlates third grade reading with the number of cells or number of beds are used for prison. And I think you all have heard that, and that's been a decade of research out there as we talk about preparing students for reading. I think many of us have taken some type of test, even in grade school or even in college, as you think about admissions to different programs. I know former Commissioner Bush would understand the LSAT and understand what you need to do for admissions. What I want to just submit and share with the commission today is give you all just the nuance to teaching reading and understanding reading so that we can be on the same page, because this is a priority of ours and it's going to take everybody in this community to make this happen. And so what I want to do is I'm going to pass this around, take just a packet. It's a sample copy, and I'll give you an electronic copy if Mr. Burkhead would pull this up. But it's a sample copy of the third grade assessment that students take. And what we have to understand is the third grade assessment that students take is a standards-based assessment, not a skills-based assessment. And the difference between a standard-based assessment is the fact that students have to know certain standards in order to be successful for the next grade level. Skill development in understanding teaching reading is the 5 components of reading: the science of reading, understanding text comprehension, phonics, phonemic awareness, fluency, text comprehension, phonemic awareness, and vocabulary. So when you think about, and when you look at this, this is a sample copy of what students in the third grade will take in 75 minutes. This is a time test. And so if you scroll up and you can look through your packet, you'll see one interesting point is that students have to write to these prompts as well. So if you look at this, if you keep scrolling, I'll tell you when to stop. So come back, just one moment. So this is a question that students have to understand: reading a passage, being able to go back in the passage and tackle that vocabulary word to understand what that vocabulary meant in that particular text. If you scroll up more, here's another excerpt that students will read, and on the next page, if you go through, you're going to see different types of questions around standards. People take the notion that now this is the test that determines our proficiency level. Research says, and not only research, but what is important, students entering third grade must read 80 to 90 words a minute to be a reader at that grade level. By the end of third grade, students should read 120 words a minute to be a reader. So if you understand the difference between a standards-based test and understanding reading skills, is 2 different things. We take this assessment right here and take the proficiency score from this assessment, which has a lot of different standards in here to determine if a child reads. So what I wanted to share with the commission today is one of the things that's important for us as a body and as a county is we have to continue to invest in our employees. We have to invest in our teachers. We have to invest in support staff. They have to be able to have the resources and the right professional development in order to teach students these standards. One of the things that we've done during this administration, we've invested in teachers and employees every year. We have not come to the commission for any support to do that. We've also taken on capital projects. We've applied for grants. We've done everything we possibly can in the school system and on the school system side to be able to support teachers and support the system. I am submitting to the commission that we will be coming to the commission for support for the commission. We've had support from all types of businesses. Our city mayor just donated 2 billboards to say, hey, look, I'm getting these billboards. I want the school system to put something up. We have so much support. And one of the things I want to be able to say is that we have just as much support from all the other businesses as well as our commission. I cannot say that because I have not come to ask. But I want to let the commission know that I'll be coming to talk to you all. I'll be engaging Commissioner Alexander this week for our standing meeting. We have a standing meeting just like I had with Commissioner Stevenson, just to talk about where we are in terms of finance. But one of the things that I think is very important is we must provide teachers with the right professional development so that we can prepare our students to be successful, not only on the skill side of reading, but also on the standard side of reading. Because when you look at the research and you see the proficiency level at third grade, and it declines at 7th grade, there's still a concern about literacy. And so one of the things I think that's important, if we want to continue to make the progress that we're making in the school system, it's not going to just be the school system doing it alone. It's going to be everyone being a part of that process. And I want to tell you all that I appreciate you all for giving me the opportunity to serve as superintendent, and I look forward to our partnership as we continue to make this county one of the best education systems in Tennessee. Thank you very much.
Anybody got any questions for Superintendent? Item number 6, progress report from jail.
No report this month.
No report. Item number 7, report from chamber. Come on down, son, it'll be your last time to make that walk.
That's right. Thank you. I just want to tell you guys briefly, last week, our community hosted a management team from Ford. They were here for a week-long training. We were able to host 23 executives from Ford, basically with the invitation to us to sell Jackson to those folks. We've had people here from Mexico, Spain, Chicago, and Michigan. Some of those folks will be moving here long-term, but all of them will be hiring folks to put their team together to work with Louisville City. We put together a team of about 20 folks and served as a host team for them. As a result of that, we've heard that 2 of those people have put offers on homes here in Jackson. Obviously, we're competing against anywhere in the region for those folks to live. We had conversations with people that they're not interested in living in Memphis or Stanton, so Jackson's a good opportunity for them. And we have a chance to win and having several of those executives move to Jackson. So I just wanted to share that with you as you guys see that we're shifting from recruiting jobs to recruiting people. And let you guys know that as y'all have future conversations about, to Dr. King's point, about our public education system, about our parks, about our quality of life, quality of spaces, that we're in a competition to recruit these people to move to Madison County. So just letting you know that it was a great meeting, very successful. Obviously have some new residents coming to Madison County, but there can be more. And we want to partner with you guys on that, so thanks.
You want to make a parting statement before you leave? You're leaving the chamber. Tell us about your next career.
Well, that's private, but
It's private.
just kidding. I'm Brandon and media. I guess this is on TV, so it's not too private. But I'm leaving the chamber. My last day will be February 10th, and I'll be going back to JF. So I'll start there February 13th. So I appreciate, thank you for giving me the opportunity, but I appreciate you guys all supporting me and being nice to me personally, but also the chamber. And we think it's a great partnership and look forward to that continuing to better the quality of life for Madison County residents. So thank you guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Item number 8, report from Lori Nunley from the Madison County Convention Visitor Bureau. Thank you, ma'am.
We are finishing up our end-of-year reports on our marketing and analytics, and most people would think that would be done within the first week. We have about 8 different reports that we're finishing, so it takes a little bit of time to pull that information together, from our website to our app to our relocation guides to a variety of different projects that we're involved in. So that we're working on that. Additionally, we were forecasted to be up 7% in 2022, the calendar year. Right now, we are up 12%. So it continues to look well for the hotel industry. We continue to have 6 hotels in the pipeline, in addition to Great Wolf Lodge project. Couple of things just so you know what we're serving on. We are serving on, or I am serving on Governor Lee's Tourism Task Force. I've been on this when Governor Haslam was governor. It has been a great opportunity to learn about what our partners are doing across the state. I also serve on the Knowledge-Driven Committee, which just means research and numbers, which is a good opportunity for us to be able to target more adeptly at the people that we want coming to Jackson and visiting us here. Other things going on, we are working on our redevelopment of a website, and then we're also working on our visitor's guide and a tear-off map. So those are projects that we have in the pocket right now that we'll be finishing up to put out probably early spring. That's usually the best time for us to put those out. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you very much. Item number 9, report from the county officials, standing special committees, all business actions thereof by this board. Mr. Alexander?
Mr. Chairman, everybody should have had in their packet a copy of the MOU that the property committee took up between the county and the DA's office concerning 2 vehicles that they were going to use. That did come as a recommendation from the property committee.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Also, as part of our property committee report, I wanted to recognize Mike Winslow. He's going to give us a report on the cold damage that we had to our buildings.
All righty.
As you're all aware, we had an Arctic event, they call it, come through the end of the year. And we had 3 county properties affected adversely by that, meaning frozen pipes and ensuing water damage. The first and I guess the least damage was the CJC building at 515 South Liberty. A sprinkler pipe in the ceiling in the lobby of the court side, not where the inmates were, but the court entrance froze and let loose, and it leaked through the ceiling onto the floor, but the floor was ceramic tile. So there was really no damage there. Mark A. Day and his crew cleaned that up and got the plumber in there to fix the pipe, and now we're just waiting for someone to fix the ceiling, which will be the most minor of the 3. The next one was the Soil Conservation Office at 313 North Parkway. In that pod, it's at the Ag Center. There's a frozen pipe in the southwest ceiling of that pod. And it, well, by the way, the CJC, I was notified on 12/23 during the holidays. That's when it all happened. Soil Conservation, I was notified 12/26. Now, how long it's been running, we don't know. I mean, because there's nobody in the buildings. Well, the ensuing damage was drywall, carpet, vinyl flooring, all of that is been stripped out and is being replaced. The drywall, we did 4-foot flood cuts. Now what that is, we cut the drywall 4 foot off the ground because the whole floor was, I mean, it had standing water. So water leaches up into the drywall and to the insulation beneath. So to be safe, we cut 4 foot out, pulled all the insulation out, and we're going to replace all that with new insulation and drywall. Carpet will be replaced. They have the carpet squares like we see in, no, this is carpet squares. We have the carpet squares like we have in CJC now. The approximate damage there, the estimates that I'm working with the insurance pool on, it totals about $73,000. So it was substantial. Every wall was affected. The first and the biggest was the WIC Center at 589 College Street. This was reported to me at on 12/27 by Lynn Mooney at the health department. We had a frozen pipe in the northeast wall of that building in the rear. And ironically, that pipe was a capped off pipe that was never used. It was, when that addition was built, it was put in there for an outdoor outlet to be tapped onto it, but it was decided they didn't need an outdoor outlet there, so they just capped it off, but it was still energized. Well, it froze, burst, and of course we've got carpet damage, and 2 or 3 offices that had carpet. We've got cabinet damage, the built-in cabinets that were sitting on the floor, the water leached up into the panel sides and whatnot. All of the vinyl tile has to be replaced, and the vinyl flooring in the offices in the main records room. And of course, drywall, we did the flood cuts and took out the insulation, dried it all, and they're over there, the contractor's over there replacing it now. I've dealt with all 3 of these with the local government insurance pool. They're aware of the damages, the costs, and basically told me to do what I think we need to do. So we're doing it. So the approximate damage there at the moment is $153,000. So as you can see, it doesn't, one event can impact the county pretty bad. Luckily, we have the pool. Of course, the size of this loss, now there were 32 states affected by this Arctic blast. From here to the Canadian border to the East Coast. And because of our relationship with the local government insurance pool and their relationship with ServPro, they were able to get a ServPro team up here quicker than anybody else could. I called all over the place. There was not a water reclamation outfit in Tennessee that could respond. The ServPro team they got came out of Jacksonville, Florida. But they got them up here, and we started the reclamation process and the drying out. So this is going to be an ongoing repair issue, but we want to get it done right. But that's the status right now. It's ongoing, and we've got it moving.
Thank you, Mike. Anybody got any questions for Mike? Any more committee reports? That's it. Commissioner Wall.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have several. The excess resale committee met, and we have one offer. It's on 106 Fair Street from CWA Development for $600. It's a committee recommendation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Also, I would like to just take a moment to just let the commission know that over the last year with this committee, we've been able to dispose of over 400 properties and collect over $600,000 for these properties to be also put back on the tax roll. So I'd like to give them a round of applause for their service. Another item that we took up in excess resale, and that was, we've been talking about the amount of work that goes into excess resale. Just by the numbers I just gave you, you can tell it was certainly a lot of work. And we've been able to see that more as we've been able to get more involved with this committee on Sarah's part as the coordinator. And what the committee has recommended is that we take and, well, first of all, let me tell you this. The commission will probably remember that back several years ago, we had 2 positions. We had the administrative coordinator for the county commission and also excess resale director position. Brenda Sidoris had that position. And that was a salary in excess of, with benefits and everything, around $80,000 that we were able to save. The county was able to save when she decided to retire. However, we put all of those duties on Sarah. So now the committee has looked at it a whole lot closer and is recommending that we approve the title of excess resale director and then also the executive coordinator to the Madison County Commission for Sarah. So we're just adding the title of That way, basically, she becomes a department head for that particular department.
And what was the title?
Excess resale director and executive coordinator to the Madison County Board of Commissioners.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion?
Commissioner, how much salary is involved in that? What's the increase in salary?
That'll be at budget time.
If you hire them, it's gonna be, you're gonna get paid for them. What is the increase in salary?
There's no increase at this time.
You're not asking for increase in salary?
The committee recommend,
What are you, what's that position gonna be, what's the salary gonna be for those positions?
well,
Combined.
at budget time, that'll be discussed.
So she's doing it for nothing now?
No, she gets a salary now. So they just changed her title to give her a title for what she was doing.
To make her a department head.
I understand that. I'm saying, what is the salary that she receives?
What is her salary now?
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure.
41, I believe, 41,000. But that is a raise from the time that Brenda had left. We gave her a significant raise.
That was last budget year she got a raise, yes. Commissioner Brown.
Yes, not in difference. My second favorite county employee is Sarah, other than myself. But the fact we're talking about a personnel title or function change should be referred to the personnel committee. If you could recommend that to the personnel committee, that's, I think, the appropriate. Any change in employees' functional title should be.
I can only recommend what the committee has recommended.
That was a committee recommendation. Any other discussion?
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That should go through the personnel committee. No committee should change the title.
We got a motion on the floor, we'll vote on it. Roll call.
It's, before we start a roll call,
All right.
I'd like a legal ruling on that, because we're getting ready to vote on something that we know is improper and wrong. We have committed their functions, and
Not aware of any requirement that would say that giving an employee a new title that's under the purview of the county commission, because she's funded through the line item for the county commission, would have to go through personnel. I think it was a decision made by the excess resale property committee, because she has been handling those duties with regard to that committee for, I think, quite some time now. I mean, obviously, if this body wants to send it to the personnel committee, you can vote on that, but there's not any legal requirement that it has to go through the personnel committee.
if I can just get clarification, what's the benefit of having a personnel committee, a highway department, or anything else, if a committee can take that function and do it? I have no extra grant, but that is not and has not been the practice, and and the personnel committee's role would be any change in alignment, title, or function that they will review it.
Roll call.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Mercer.
the finance director, when we made this change to combine these two positions, she said she was gonna be a part of that to help her do that excess property. The finance director was. That's when we made the change. And is she still involved in that? She's not involved in it at all?
Not to my knowledge, Sarah's is, no, very little.
Finance chairman,
No.
my finance director, not.
No.
And she told Sarah Allen don't know.
Right.
Okay, when we first decided to do it, the finance director, she the one got and said she's gonna be a part, she's gonna help. That's when we get away with that position.
She assisted in the beginning.
Sir.
She assisted in the beginning, but Sarah was very qualified to handle what she was handling on her own.
So she no more a part of it.
Roll call. Oh, Ms. Abernathy.
Sorry, thank you. Mr. Chairman, I just want to say, this is another instance where I think having some kind of description of what each committee is responsible for would be very helpful. Because I still, as I'm voting, don't know what the personnel committee is supposed to oversee in its entirety. So it makes sense to me that that would be an issue that would go through personnel, but I think if we can get some descriptions of what these committees are responsible for, it would clear up some of these kind of conversations.
Commissioner Goblin.
I just want to get a clear understanding in regard to the role that Mr. McClain will play. The question I'm asking is, so the position she's in now, that position would change to a new position and the position that she is in now, will that position go away?
Well, it's not changing anything. She was just giving her a title for what she's doing.
So what's her title now?
She is assistant to the county commission.
So, what I'm asking, will the assistant to the county commission, that will be a slash, or will that go away and it will she become the title?
Well, I guess it'd be a slash for both of them,
It'll be a slash.
Yeah.
First one? Okay. So,
Commissioner Hale.
So, as we've discussed several times in personnel, duties and titles are very important to the efficient work of the county government. Part of what the salaries survey and study we were wanting to accomplish, that the mayor's office is assisting us with going forward, to go into the next budget cycle, will help us understand what other changes needs to be made. This is a positive change, and me speaking personally, not for the committee, because the committee hasn't met, I support defining her role in the job that she's doing today.
Commissioner Brown.
I move that we will table this recommendation and that the matter be referred to Personnel Committee.
Have a motion and second to table. Roll call.
Who's second, Ms. Godwin or?
Ms. Godwin.
On the table.
You can move to table it. You vote on tabling. If tabling fails, then vote on the committee recommendation.
We're voting on the table. Roll call.
Abernathy?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. Ade?
No.
Alexander?
No.
Arnold?
No.
Black? Bond? Brown?
Yes.
Bryant Cindy?
Pass.
Ma'am? Ma'am?
Pass.
Thank you. Bryant Mike?
No.
Teton?
No.
Ellison?
Yes.
Godwin?
yes.
Hill?
No.
Hall?
No.
Hicks?
No.
Johnson?
No.
Jones?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Mercer?
Yes.
Montague? Nahal?
No.
Petty? Taylor?
No.
Tippit?
No.
Wall?
No.
Anybody want to change their vote?
I'm gonna change mine to no. I'd like to change.
Sid changed hers to no.
I got 7 yes, 14 no, 4 absent.
7 yes, 14 no. Motion to table fails. Now we're voting on the original motion.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Abernathy?
Yes.
Ade?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Black? Bond? Brown?
Pass.
I'm sorry, sir.
Pass.
Thank you. Bryant Cindy?
Yes. Yes.
Bryant Mike?
Yes.
Teton?
Yes.
Ellison?
No.
Godwin?
Pass.
Hill?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Mercer?
No.
Montague? Nahoff?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Tippit?
Yes.
Wall?
Yes.
Petty?
I'd like to change mine, no.
I heard 17 yes, 2 no, 2 pass.
17 yeses, 2 noes, 2 pass.
Right.
Motion passes. Commissioner Godwin.
I would like to say, I do support, Ms. McClain's pay raise. I just don't support the way it's being done. And so therefore, that's why I voted to table, and that's why I voted no, because I just feel that, I'm explaining that I support the pay increase. I don't support the way it's done.
Commissioner Nahal.
Pay increase, the job change, thank you.
Commissioner Nahal.
fellow commissioners, we did not vote on a pay raise. The only thing we did there was recognize the duties she's been doing for 2.5 years without a title. She's been handling this committee without a title for doing it, and that's all we voted on. The raises, my understanding, will be done, excuse me.
I misunderstood.
Hey, Ms. Godwin, Ms. Godwin, Ms. Godwin, Ms. Godwin, Ms. Godwin,
The
Ms.
raises
Godwin.
will be handled in the personnel committee.
Hey, we're out of order here. Ms. Godwin, have a seat. I like people. Who's up first? Commissioner Johnson.
Been here a long time. Committees do and are an important part of this commission. It makes no difference what a committee does. It's up to this commission. We can do whatever we want to do.
Commissioner Martin.
Briefly, what is the responsibility of the personnel? I mean, we're not going to you, and I'm once again, say that outside job.
Folks, I don't have a motion on the floor. Anybody want to make a motion? What we're discussing? We just approved a motion. What's your motion?
I'm just asking what is the duty of the personnel committee? If it should go through him, why should it went through him?
Point of order.
I believe we're on number 9, which is reports from county standing officials, old business and
It
whatnot.
hasn't been called for.
And so with the no vote, I'm not sure what we're discussing.
I'm just asking a question, what is the duty? That's all, I'm asking, that's it. I mean, is anything wrong with me asking that, Chairman? That's all I ask.
We could probably move that discussion to the end if there's questions involving any and all other matters.
Be item number 20. Commissioner Brown.
Excuse me, I'm not talking item number 20. With all respect, he's my chair of the meeting. He was talking and we hadn't called for another item. I want to raise the question, what is the purpose of committees if this commission is going to overrule commission? I remember when we didn't have these committees, and if they are not going to do what we set them up for, then we need to do away with all of them.
Commissioner Wall.
That was a question. That was a question. What's the purpose of the committees? What's the purpose of us having committees if we're gonna, if each small group of people are gonna go on and do what they wanna do?
Commissioner Wall.
Last item that I have for.
So I don't deserve an answer?
Excess resale is going to be committee recommendation for finance to create.
I'd like for the minutes to record that I don't deserve an answer.
Commissioner Wall.
The committee recommendation from the excess resale committee is for finance to also create cost centers for the excess resale to track the cost of excess resale department. Basically just keeping those costs separate from the county commission. Currently, the county commission budget line items are taking care of all the excess resale line items. So what we're asking to do is just for finance to create cost centers so that we can track those costs just in excess resale.
Any other committee reports?
That's committee recommendation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Mr. Alexander.
Last thing from property, we also have had a grant request from Chris over at Parks and Rec. I'll let him explain that a little bit, but it was a committee recommendation.
You know, Louisville City or Ford is doing grants for 4 counties in this area, and we're one of them. And it is a non-matching. It is not it's not going to add funds to us. It's 100% funded by them for us to do work in parks. So we are looking at possibly a new pump track, which is would go out at Pewborn, and we are working with some of the local bike groups here who are actually helping to try to raise funds. So it would be totally community funded and Ford funded. And I just need to have it on the record, letting y'all know about it and getting y'all's approval so I can move forward with it.
That's committee recommendation. Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Commissioner Wall.
Commissioner Rules and Bylaws met, Mr. Chairman, we've got, due to, and working with IT, our IT department, due to cybersecurity, cyber attacks, compliance, et cetera, there are 2 changes in our commission rules and bylaws that the committee is recommending. Both are basically the same thing, just in 2 different parts of the bylaws. Rule 1, 1A, alpha, the committee wants to remove the language, and I quote, or USPS, end quote, and add the language, quote, by official county email, end quote. This would read, and this has everything to do with communications, official communications coming from Sarah to the commissioners. And basically what we're trying to do in conjunction with the IT department is to ensure that all official notifications and communications that's coming from Sarah is going to an official county email for the commissioners. And all commissioners have an official county email. So it would then read, notification of meeting to members shall be made by the commission chairperson and by official county email to each commissioner, not less than 10 days prior to the meeting date, with an agenda of the business to be conducted. The clerk will call roll at the beginning and end of each meeting. This same change is also in Section 5G, as in George, that's Rule 5, agenda to commission members. A copy of the agenda attachments and the notice calling each commission meeting shall be emailed to official county email to each member 10 days before the commission meeting date. This is a committee recommendation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other committee reports? Item number 10, report from County Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to recognize and make sure that we all have Mr. Harold Petty in our prayers. He fell about almost 2 months ago, 7 weeks or so ago, and they're still having some lingering issues with that. So he's not with us today. So he's having some surgery this week. So y'all keep him in your prayers, and we hope he gets better and gets back quickly. Today I want to recognize really what I call the best kept secret in Madison County. Y'all know that I'm trying to recognize some of our county departments for what they do and the efforts that they put in to provide for our citizens in our county. Now this is a 2-person department, so neither one of them could be here because they got to be there to do their job. So our Veteran Services Department, Mr. Reggie Sims and Everett Wilder, do a tremendous service to a cross-section of our community that a lot of times goes unrecognized. They have an annual veteran outreach event, which is well attended and brings together many a provider for services for area veterans. Our Veteran Service Office is one of only 5 offices in West Tennessee to offer virtual VA board hearings. So they can come to our offices here in Jackson and they can virtually communicate with Memphis and Nashville and not have to travel there to get their veterans hearings done. And some studies say that every dollar spent on our local veteran services equates to $63 in revenue for our county. So they are paying for themselves time and time again. Last year they served over 2,000 veterans and they brought in about $720,000 in federal dollars to our Madison County residents. That money is going to be straight to their pocketbooks to be spent here in Madison County and help those folks out. I do want to recognize one event that happened this last month, which I'm very proud of, and I think it shows just a little bit of what they do besides helping our veterans one-on-one. They were recently able to assist in replacing a Distinguished Service Cross for a deceased Madison County resident, 2nd Lieutenant Vernon Harris, who was killed in action in World War II. And I want to read you the War Department's press release about Lieutenant Harris. Back at his command post on the Italian battlefront, the infantry company commander waited anxiously for a signal from Harris's platoon, which had been assigned a dangerous task of leading an advance under fire across the Volturno River in Italy. Suddenly, a bright, brilliant flare lit up the sky. The mission was successful. Harris had made it. When the company commander caught up with his platoon, he learned that the signal flare had been fired by the hand of a dying man, 2nd Lieutenant Vernon C. Harris, infantry of RFD 3, Jackson, Tennessee. Mortally wounded during an artillery barrage, after having led his doughboys across the turbulent stream and encouraged them to capture their objectives in fierce hand-to-hand fighting, Lieutenant Harris refused to quit until he had finished his job. Although he was suffering severe pain, Harris called his non-commissioned officers together and personally supervised the organization of his platoon in defense. Finally, the position was safe against the threat of counterattack, and with his last strength, Lieutenant Harris happily sent up the bright symbol of success. A little while later, he died. The Distinguished Medal Cross is just below the Medal of Honor and is awarded by the President of the United States. Second Lieutenant Vernon Harris of Beach Bluff, Tennessee, was posthumously awarded the Distinguished Service Cross and the Purple Heart in 1943. The family lost the Distinguished Service Cross in a house fire years ago. Through the efforts of our Veteran Services Department and others, Madison County was able to obtain a replacement Distinguished Service Cross for the family and recognize Second Lieutenant Harris in the ceremony a few weeks ago. So I just want to thank Reggie and Everett for their efforts, and if you guys ever see them, Reggie's usually the one that comes out during meetings with his headset on because he's probably on the phone helping somebody get their benefits that they deserve and have well earned. So I just want to recognize him and thank you guys for your time.
Item number 11, any amendments or transfers to general fund, school department, capital project, highway department, debt service, juvenile court service budget for fiscal year 2022-2023. Commissioner Johnson.
Mr. Chairman, we only have 10, thank goodness, this morning. Number one, from fund balance, Sheriff's Department, $310,216.77. It was appropriated in fiscal year 22 for the CJC construction, but canceled purchase order with one vendor, and they're asking that this be reapportioned to fiscal year 23. It was approved by the Finance Committee.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Item 2, juvenile court clerk, $16,324.33, replacing 2 part-time personnel with 1 full-time person and adding local retirement and life insurance benefits.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Insurance recovery and refunds. Item 3, Sheriff's Department, $18,957.33, reimbursement from Lake County for deputies that were used for security for trial moved from Lake County.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 4, Sheriff's Department, $8,210 insurance recovery money for a total police vehicle to go back into capital funds.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Item 6, Sheriff's Department, $5,464. These funds are for the sale of old Sheriff's Department vehicles on gov deals. Funds are going back into motor vehicle capital account.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 7, EMA, $22,116.76, disaster relief funding reimbursement from 2022-21 Waverly mutual aid deployment.
Which one are you on?
Do what? That's on 7.
You're on 7?
Yes.
I think you skipped 5. Go back to skip number 5.
You skipped number 5. Let's
All right, excuse me.
Let's go back to
Sorry.
5.
Mr. Johnson,
The Sheriff's
Mr.
Department, we'll go back to, go ahead.
I just make a motion to take 5, 6, 7, scroll down for me, Billy. And with those being within their own budget as well as state mandated reserves, 8, 9, and 10 altogether.
I second that motion. The motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
All of these were either transfers within departments, among departments, and grants, so we should have covered them all with one. All right.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
All right, where are we now, Joey?
You finished, sir.
You finished.
Thank you.
Commissioner.
I'd like to recognize Bart because out of that 16,000, I know it showed general fund, that he found all but $500 in his budget to pay for that person. So thank you again, Bart, for doing a good job.
Item number 12. Appointment of 2 members to the Agriculture Extension Committee by this body. It's a 2-year term, 2 vacant seats. Commissioner Alexander.
Nomination of Cindy Bryant and Gary Tippett for the committee.
Have a motion for Cindy. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 13, appointment of 1 liaison to the Industrial Development Board by this body, 1-year term. Commissioner Hicks.
I would like to recommend Mike Bryant for that.
Mike Bryant.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Item 14, appointment of 9 members to the Information Technology Committee, 1-year term to consist of 4 non-commissioners: Chris Sewing, Billy Burkhead, trustee, Bark Walls, Highway Department Superintendent, Rusty Perry, and 5 commissioners: Jeff Wall, Mike Taylor, incumbent, and 3 vacant seats.
Mr. Chairman, on request of the IT Department Chair, IT Director, Matt Preston, we're requesting that be tabled until next month.
Have a motion to table. Have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 15, discussion of letter from the Tennessee Controller's Office that was requested by Commissioner Aaron Ellison. Commissioner Ellison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you all know, this subject had come before the commissioners before. That's about our sunshine law, our open meeting law. It was discussed back in September. We had a brief discussion and just discussed it. We had a letter from the Comptroller's Office to Commissioner Dean, dated November the 2nd. And we didn't see that letter until our December meeting. It was laying on our desk. And I think because the comptroller got involved, I don't know who did it, but the comptroller got involved, and they sent this letter to this commissioner. There are probable cause for some action to be taken. I'm requesting that it be discussed and the appropriate action be taken.
The individual who wrote that letter, sent their complaint, is here. Commissioner Creed, do you like to address that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not Commissioner anymore. Commissioners, my name is Trey Cleek. And yes, in October of last year, I learned of a meeting that took place on September 14th at the, what I call Tigard School, now Community Montessori. Multiple members of this body were in attendance. No public notice was given of that meeting. Issues such as committee assignments and the race for the chairman of this body was discussed with strategies laid out. I felt that that was in violation of the state of Tennessee's open records rules, so I contacted Maria Bush, who is an internal attorney for the Office of Open Records in the Comptroller's Office. She began, I don't want to call it an investigation, more of a process that she has in her office. And one of the first steps in that process was to author the letter that was sent to Chairman Deaton to be read here in this body regarding the rules governing meetings of elected members of the county legislative bodies. So yes, that's where that letter originated from, was my call to the Comptroller's Office in regards to that September 14th meeting at Tigard School.
Who was attending that meeting?
Well, I don't know everyone that was in attending, but I've seen it on Facebook that several commissioners, Commissioner Abernathy and Commissioner Mercer and Commissioner Black were all there in attendance. I could not tell you exactly who all was there. I wasn't there because no public notice was given. And so I've seen bits and pieces of it on social media, and it's just not appropriate to have those kind of meetings where issues are being discussed without public notice being given.
Commissioner Ellison, does that satisfy you?
Not really. Not really. He said sort of on Facebook and all, and I don't deal with Facebook, and I don't know who was there, who wasn't there, but that's not the issue. It should be some kind of corrective action taken.
That was the issue.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Mercer.
Based on this letter from the Controller's Office, I'd like to request that all the members that attend that meeting that was discussed in the commission meeting, I request that that they be sued and let the judge make the decision whether it's conflict in their meeting or whatever. They did violate the Sunshine Law. We brought it up, we discussed it. As a matter of fact, I discussed it with the attorney. I asked the attorney also to sue those people that attend that meeting. And,
Which meeting are you referring to?
That the film that was showed up in here.
Beg pardon?
The film that was showed up in the video.
You talking about the Republican caucus meeting?
The what?
The Republican caucus meeting.
I don't know what it was. I mean, they was
That's what it
13
was.
people there. And y'all discussed what was on the agenda. You made out your came back and did whatever y'all discussed in that meeting, this meeting here.
There was public notice.
And this letter from the Controller's Office state that anybody that know or think that a violation been made of the Sunshine Law, which what the Controller's Office did, this letter they sent to us, the county attorney should already have addressed this and did the same thing they did. He didn't do his job. He let somebody else do it. And they outlined exactly what this was, what the guidelines are, what need to be done. They even said a civilian don't have to be a commissioner, a civilian outside can request that.
Do you understand what the letter was for?
So what?
The complaint was against you.
I don't know what, I mean.
Your complaint was against you and the group that met at that meeting.
Wait
there was not a public notice given.
Chairman, the Sunshine Law was discussed here.
That's right.
And y'all didn't do anything about it. I went to the attorney and talked to him about it. Nothing was done. I asked him to sue those people that were at the, and same thing this letter that's requesting to be done. I asked that he do that in order to let the judge make the decision if they violate the Sunshine Law or not, bring the evidence or whatever. If they go to court, I'm gonna bring my evidence. And this information this guy talking about, I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, you went at that meeting?
Huh?
You went at the meeting he's
What
talking
meeting? I don't know what he's talking about. What meeting?
What was the meeting?
Was he there?
Was I there? No.
No, was he there? Did he see me at a meeting?
Mr. Abernathy was there.
No, I'm not talking about Ms. Abernathy. I'm talking about this fellow here.
Well, let's let Ms. Abernathy was there. She tell you which meeting it was. Go ahead.
Chairman.
Let Ms. Abernathy.
Chairman, let me ask you a question. Why are you arguing?
I'm not arguing.
Why are you trying to make a justification?
I didn't do that.
Why you justify what's going on?
Mr. Ellison brought it to the table.
Pardon me?
I did. Mr. Ellison brought this here. I didn't bring it. He has to be put on the agenda.
Your job is to preside over the meeting, that's all.
I'm presiding.
But you need to be quiet, sit there and be quiet and shut up.
Point of order. Time limit's been reached by Commissioner Mercer.
Say what now?
I said there's a time limit for speaking and you've went over.
Sit down, fella, I'm talking. I got a commission,
Point of order.
Point of order.
I have a commission.
You've made your statement. You've made your case.
Commission, I have a permission from you to speak. You gave me that speech.
Would you take
and
your seat?
until I have a constitutional right as the elected official in District 1, Position 1, in this county to stand up and speak in this commission.
You made your case.
So, no, I haven't made my case yet.
Well, you've gone over 2 minutes.
So what? I don't have no time. When I finish what I'm saying,
You don't have any time.
So what?
Would you like the attorney to answer your question?
Let me ask you one question. Do the black folks have anything? Do we have can we set up and speak in this kind of commissions we're elected like everybody else?
Well, you do enough.
I'm asking you a question.
I think you can.
Okay, I mean, then you need to let me speak, because I have a constitutional right to speak. I'm an elected official. I represent taxpayers in this community. Not only I'm a taxpayer, you know, and I'm an elected official. And I have the right and authority to speak in this commission on whatever subject I decide. Once you give me the commission to speak, I stand up and speak. When I finish, I sit down. Now, if I don't have that right, just tell me, and I won't get up
Well,
anymore.
you're not gonna filibuster.
If I don't have that right, I won't get up anymore.
You filibustering. You're not.
What do you mean filibuster?
Commissioner, Attorney Bush, you answer.
I was gonna respond to the question from Commissioner Mercer, if the commission would like. When
Attorney, you're not gonna let me finish?
the chairman called on
I
me,
asked you a question,
Commissioner.
Attorney. You the attorney of this commission.
What is your question?
Sir,
What is your question?
I'm talking to the attorney, Chairman.
Commissioner, why don't you take a seat? You're just trying to disrupt everything. Just take a seat.
What I'm interrupting, this thing is on the floor for discussion, right here. Why am what do you mean I'm disrupting it?
You got a question?
It's a discussion, I mean, I can speak on the issue of this.
Have you got a question?
I can speak on it. Because you can't answer my question, attorney.
What is the question?
I just brought.
You don't even know what the question is.
What do you mean I don't know what the question is? Here the question, I'm speaking on this letter that came from the controller's office.
Do you know why the letter was sent?
By the sunshine law.
Do you know why the letter?
By the sunshine law was violated by you as a chairman, and you supposed to represent everybody, and you don't speak to, you supposed to be representing one.
Do you know why the letter was sent?
So what?
Do you know why the letter was sent?
Because the Sunline Draw vote.
Because this man back here sent the letter to her because of you guys meeting, and there was no public notice.
Do you have any evidence, proof on that? If he say I was in a break-in meeting, he needs to sue me, tell me go to court, and let the judge make a decision if I violated the law. Show him evidence that I violated it. If that's the case, the attorney needs to sue me, take me to court, and prove that I did violate the sunshine law. Let the judge make that decision. He can't make it, you can't make it, let the judge make it.
Point of order, sir.
Point of order.
Could I have a ruling from our parliamentarian on what our rule is in this body about how long we may speak on any given issue without suspending the rules?
Rule 4B states that no member except for committee reports shall speak longer than 5 minutes on the same subject in the first speech and 2 minutes on any succeeding speech unless by consent of the commission.
5 minutes. Have I been up 5 minutes?
Can we suspend the rules?
Feels like at least.
Yeah. And Mr. Hill, you're not the, what you call me, I don't know, are you the chairman of this committee? Huh?
He's an elected official just like you.
That's right.
Just like you.
That's right, he is. And he's not the chairman, you down there as the chairman. And you overlook us for other folks. If we up talking, you call on the white folks to speak. You racist ass chairman.
Ms. Abnett.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to provide some clarity. There was no meeting on the 14th of September. There was no meeting at Community Montessori School. I think Mr. Cleek is using information that he received third hand, fourth hand, maybe fifth hand, that originated from me in an effort to get clarity on what the Sunshine Law covered, what it did not cover as a new commissioner first week on the job. I will go to any meeting that I am invited or not invited to. That's what I thought was a public meeting. And so whatever information that he received originated from me. In my opinion, the fact that we have spent almost every single meeting since we've been sworn in as a commission discussing violation of ethics or sunshine law means that we all have room for improvement to do better. We need to do better. Just Thursday, there was a question that was raised about whether or not minutes were supposed to be taken at agenda review. I'm under the understanding that we're supposed to be taking minutes during agenda review after talking to a consultant from CTAS. I don't want this commission to be lazy when it comes to transparency and when it comes to ethics, because we have real work to do and real problems to solve. We need to get ready for Ford coming in. We need to start building capacity in our schools. We need to get salaries up to a competitive level. We need to get our election process better from our email from Ms. Lott. We have real problems to solve, and we need to do better on the things that should be given, like the Sunshine Law and like our ethics.
Go back to that. You were at a meeting with these gentlemen, is that correct?
I was at a meeting that I did not know what it was.
What were they discussing?
I asked if there were any meetings, since I had gone to a Republican caucus meeting, I asked if there were any meetings in which Democrats would be present for. I was told that there was a meeting on the 8th of September. I'm under the understanding now that that may or may not have been about voting issues and not necessarily a Democratic caucus meeting, but I did attend a meeting on the 8th
Can
of
you
September.
discuss who would be chairman, correct?
I believe there was a discussion about chairman, yes, sir.
Was there a public notice given?
I did not receive a public notice.
That's why the letter went out.
But I think that we need to stop playing middle school telephone games and do the hard work of building trust on this commission and speak face to face with each other, show up at agenda review meetings to have these conversations before we get in front of the press, to have these conversations in a way that we can start working together to solve the real problems that I just talked about a second ago.
I agree with you. Ms. Godwin.
Okay. I was the one that asked Mr. Bush to get information in regard to whether this county commission violated the Sunshine Law in regard to what Mr. Mercer is talking about when he presented that video. And what Mr. Bush did is he went and got information and texted. I was hoping he would have presented the next meeting, but it never came up. I'm concerned the fact that it never came up, but yet a complaint came against Mr. Mercer. Why wasn't the process, a due process followed in regard to the diligence of work put in at that meeting, the next meeting? Because again, I asked the person, and before I know it, Texas was going out to me that there was no violation of the Republican caucus meeting. But yet, here, clearly, of course, I don't know nothing about this meeting. I don't go to meetings like that. And I don't know nothing about Mr. Mercer. I don't know anything about this, but I'm concerned that y'all have a double standard. Before I can talk most times, somebody's cutting me off. And I don't think it's right. I made a mistake, and y'all knew I made a mistake. Yeah, I got cut. That's why I got up and apologized for talking like that. But I think she needed a pay increase, and I said that subconsciously. But I know it was a tile change. I said it before. So why are you gonna correct me when you already know what I meant? We need to stop playing these little games. And I don't think it's right for us to make decisions in budget meetings and then county commissioners can't even talk about it unless we got get our heads cut off. And regardless, because I'm a new commissioner, I have been coming to this county commission meeting 30, 40 years, like I've been coming to all other meetings, and I know what's going on. So all I'm saying is, if we're not doing anything, we need to move on. That's all I gotta say. Because if you're gonna get on Mr. Mercer, you get on Mr. Hayes.
Are we through?
Mr. Chairman, I like that, the attorney, of course.
Go right ahead.
Attorney, my question is that I asked you that those people that attend that meeting, that video that you saw, I asked you to sue those folks and let them go for the jury and let the jury make a decision if they violated the Sunshine Law. Sir.
What I told you when you made that request, that it was that I cannot sue members of the county commission. The county commission is my client. I would have a conflict in moving to file a lawsuit against 17 members of the county commission. Now, under the statute, under the Tennessee Open Meetings Act, an individual can bring a lawsuit against members of the county commission if there's allegations and facts showing that there's been a violation. So a citizen can bring that action. They can go hire an attorney and do that, but I cannot bring a lawsuit against this body.
Okay, I understand that. And it wasn't 17 people, 13 people.
Well, how many of them?
Yeah, okay. Now, in the past, we had a problem that the attorney could not handle because of a conflict. Then they went out and hired somebody else to do that, you know, and now it could happen here. They can go out and hire somebody to take it, to deal with this issue, clear it up, and get this thing out the way so we can move forward progressively. So if you can't, it's a conflict of interest. Since it is, you know, it's been done in the past, it's gonna be done in the future. You can hire an attorney to handle this situation that's neutral, and get this thing, take it to court, and let the judge make the decision, you know, if this is a violation or not.
Again, as I told you when we spoke, I don't have that authority to go out and hire an attorney. Now, if this body wants to provide funding for that and give me instructions to retain an attorney for the purpose of suing the body for a violation of the Open Meetings Act, I can do that, but it would have to come as a recommendation from this body.
Well, I make a motion that we do that.
Got a motion? No second. That's like a second. Commissioner Johnson.
I have a question for Commissioner Hale. Was notice given on all the Republican meetings?
Since I was elected chair of the Republican caucus, notice has always gone out.
And that was approved. Commissioner Ellison.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attorney Bush, last month, I think we paid you for hiring other people to work under your umbrella. What's the difference now and then?
Point of order.
No, sir, I don't think.
Point of order.
That's.
Yes, sir. Point of order.
What agenda item are we on, and what are we talking about?
We talked about the discussion of the letter for the Tennessee Controller's Office that was requested by
Mr. Chairman.
Presented by Ellison.
We still living.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Parliament, can I ask the parliamentarian a question?
Excuse me, Commissioner.
What's the rule on motion to move on? What would be that motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Like to cease debate about no motions?
You can make a
Mr.
motion
Chairman.
in debate, which will require a second and vote on. But I'm happy to answer your question, because I see what you're saying. You're saying, well, can someone else in my office handle it? Is that what you're asking?
I don't know what pay you. I brought that question up about your salary.
Because there'd still be a conflict, because my firm is retained to represent the county.
Item number 16. Resolution to amend 2022 and 2023 appropriations resolution.
And it's a dual recommendation from both Finance Committee and Budget Committee.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 17, resolution to amend Madison County inventory policy regarding transfers of emergency vehicles between government entities. Mr. Alexander.
This comes from the property committee. It is a property committee recommendation. What this concerns is our current policy. When we get rid of public service vehicles, we have to decertify them, where we could sell them to other public service agencies and not go through that process. This was just basically tying the hands of the departments like the Sheriff's Department and the Fire Department from selling vehicles without going through the decertification process. All this is a policy change allowing them to do that.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 18, consideration of resolution to rezone property located at 565 Grinnell Drive. Here he comes, folks. Stan Pilot, man of the hour.
At least that was before the notaries. Good morning.
Morning.
You have in your packet the materials pertinent to this rezoning request. If you'll remember, this was a property that you zoned earlier to industrial, and it's an existing industrial development. They plan to build one more warehouse, and they need to extend their zone a little bit further. So it adjoins an existing zone that's already zoned I-3, and they are extending that. They are leaving a 200-foot buffer between the residential uses and their development that will not be zoned industrial, so it will remain residential. The Planning Commission is recommending approval of this to you.
Public hearing, anybody here to speak for or against this resolution? Commissioner Wall.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask Mr. Pilot if, at what point, like, is there a 30-day notice given to the residents that encompass the area that's around those, the rezoning requests?
Yes, sir.
30-day notice?
Well, you asked us to notify the county's office so that y'all would have plenty of time.
That's correct.
And we do that. We send that out a month in advance. When it goes to the planning commission, we send you the notice right after the planning commission meets. We also send the notices to the people right after the planning commission meets. So really, there's more than 30 days
Okay.
that passes.
That's what I wanted to make sure of, because I in District 9, and I'd like to know from my two colleagues that are in District 9 if they received notice 30 days in advance of this.
Well, again, we provide the information to Sarah. Now, how she
It went out
dispenses
last
it.
month. This one particularly
This
went out
particular one?
last month
Okay.
and got pushed.
We need to make sure if that's continuing to happen, because the three of us, we were talking about this on the agenda the other night at the agenda review, and we had not seen anything other than what was in the agenda. So if you could make sure that happens, I'm sure.
Well, here's the confusion that's happening. When you ask us to send it to you well in advance, when after the planning commission meets and we send it to you, there's some confusion that is getting placed on the agenda for that month when it's not supposed to, and there's been some problems with that.
Gotcha.
Now, again, we are sending it exactly like you asked us to.
Perfect.
We sent it to Sarah. Now, how y'all dispense it and how you get it to you.
You have no control.
I have no control.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we move forward.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second. I have a question, please.
Go right ahead, Ms.
I heard you say you send it out to the residents. How do you send it out to the residents?
We send a postcard to the address on record with the tax rolls.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Hicks?
Just gonna second now. You have a question?
Got a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Thank you.
Dan, thank you, did a great job. Item 19, election of notary publics. Got a motion? Second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Any and all matters related to connection with matters set forth in items 1 through 19. Who was up first?
It don't matter.
Mark, go ahead.
As I asked a few moments ago, we got the personnel committee and different committees. So if we're not gonna use them like they should be, why do we even have them? And Commissioner Johnson said we can do anything that we want to do, which we can, but it's not always right. If you always do what you want to do, but it's not always right. So I'm just trying to find out what is the role of the personnel committee. I mean, once Sarah do an outstanding job, and Rich, she probably do need a raise to go along with all the work that she doing, but why couldn't we send it through the proper committee?
Mr. Martin, I understand what you're saying. The committee that dealt with that was dealing with the direct person they was working with. There was no need to send it to the personnel committee unless they chose to. They didn't choose to.
But
that was their decision.
But they should have, Chairman.
That was your opinion?
No, not my opinion. It's the right thing to do.
Okay. Commissioner Brown.
Yes, on that same point, I'd like for the clerk, I'm not sure if you heard me, I would request that the minutes would note that I raised that particular question, if any group could bypass a duly established committee of this county commission and take actions or recommend actions here. And the answer that was given by the chair was that I didn't deserve an answer. Would the minutes reflect that, please?
What's his question, I'm sorry?
I don't know, I can't hear you.
I know it's difficult,
Now I can.
Sure. I would like that the minutes reflect that Chairman Deaton told me I didn't deserve an answer.
I didn't say that. I just shook my head.
I heard you, and I don't know why you're not being honest. Everybody heard you. The thing is, I'd like for the minutes to reflect, and I never got an answer.
That's fine.
The chairman acknowledged that I did not deserve an answer when I asked if a committee could bypass the designated committee and recommend actions here to the county commission. That's all I'm requesting. Thank you.
Commissioner Godwin.
I want to again say that when I stood up previously to say in regard to Ms. McLean getting a pay increase, I meant a title change. But I do support a pay increase, but my thing again is the process. The process in regard to wage. It seems like we just put stuff on the agenda and expect us to just say yay or nay to it, and I don't think it's fair. As a county commissioner, my taxpayers don't send me here to just go along with stuff. I need to ask first and get answers. And if I offend some of you, I'm sorry, but I represent the taxpayers. And so therefore, that's what I have to do. Because I may have a person, why didn't I go through personnel? And why wasn't it open up to someone else? I'm just being transparent. But again, I think she does a great job. She deserves $40,000, not enough money to live on, as far as I'm concerned. But it's the process. And we shouldn't get mad at anybody because they ask questions in regard to the process, should we?
Commissioner Head.
Since my time on the commission, my very first year elected, I was elected chair of personnel when Tony White was leading HR and our deputy mayor. And of course, he was replaced by Ms. Keene. With personnel, its main role is to manage the personnel handbook and the changes and the policies that affect employees. And the department heads that are non-elected are required to abide by that policy manual. And those that are elected have the option to have their own policy manual and sometimes for example, the school system has their own personnel and all that. So the personnel has been mainly tasked with managing that, not necessarily diving into employees and changing their titles. That happens a lot of times. For example, we have an audit committee. If they wanted to change the title of Mr. Mike Perry, who reports to that committee, they wouldn't call personnel or schedule personnel unless they felt like there was overreaching effect across other departments that could affect the personnel handbook. And so we've done some really good things over the last few months as far as eliminating some committees and combining some committees to make us more efficient and more effective at what we do as we lead at the policy level, not necessarily the decision, like day-to-day decision level. And that's why when insurance on the personnel side was combined, that's something that HR is actively involved in. And so personnel works closely with the HR department, not closely with the excess resale division of what they do. And so personnel, yes, you would think that all personnel issues would go through that committee, but that's not necessarily the case. If that was the case, we could probably do away with 40 of the 50 committees that are left and just all have just 10 committees and call them whatever we want to call them, make it the most efficient. But that can be overwhelming because, as you know, there is a lot of details to consider and we need a full team to do that. And so, we don't have like a verbatim definition, and I think that would be a great thing if as a committee and all committees could come together and define their role and how they serve. But right now, personnel is charged with managing the personal handbook and the insurance for the employees, the health insurance for the employees.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes, sir. All the same, Commissioner Hill, I don't know where you got that narrow definition of a personnel committee. I used to be chairman of the personnel committee. No personnel committee has ever been established to oversee a handbook that alone. The original statement, first line of the responsible personnel committee, all matters related to personnel and employee benefits. Plain and simple.
Commissioner Attorney Bush.
I just wanted to echo what Commissioner Hale had said regarding the committees. Most of these, such as personnel, have statutorily outlined responsibilities. Now, the commission has assigned other responsibilities to them, but for personnel example, under the law, the county commission is required to establish a personnel handbook for any employees not covered under an elected official or a county department head. So that duty falls under the personnel committee. And I was asked back in October by the Rules and Bylaws Committee to prepare a list of every standing committee of the county commission. And I've undertaken to do that, and I've got the statutory citations for each committee and where their authority comes from. Some of your committees don't have that because they are creations of this body. But before what I say becomes what you follow, I'd like for all the committees to review this and approve the language in there. And if there's things that you want to add or take away, and let this body define what the responsibilities are of these committees in addition to what state law already sets out. So I've got that list. I will send it out to all the committee chairmen, and they can, at their next monthly meeting, review it and make any recommendations. This body can vote on it, and hopefully that'll settle the issue of what the jurisdiction of each of these committees are.
Mr. Tipp?
Mr. Chairman, the Ag Committee met, and I couldn't bring it up earlier until I got put on the Ag Committee. We voted to hire 2 new agents at the Extension Agency. Hunter Goodman, he's taking Jake Mallard's spot, and Tanisha Cook. She's going to be working with 4-H, and Tanisha is the wife of the new Dixie Jackson, Georgia Pacific plant manager is her husband. And it's a committee recommendation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor?
I want clarification. The Ag Committee is gonna have 3 people?
Was it 2 people? Two.
Okay, Ag Committee is gonna have, thank you.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Pass.
One pass.
Mr. Chairman, while I'm up, I want to say thank you to everybody for the calls and visits and prayers during my surgery and hospital stay, and thank you for the fruit basket. I appreciate it.
Commissioner Goblin.
While I'm up, I guess I'm as well. I had outpatient surgery December 4th. I'll be going back in the hospital having the surgery again. Ask for your prayers. But I would like to say this. Evidently, if it didn't matter about title change, why are we making a change? It's a big difference between coordinator and director. And I think with director, we need more money. And she deserves more money. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Commissioner Ellis.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I got a question for Trent Bush. All jobs, a job change of title, shouldn't they go through personnel, HR?
I think we've already gone through this. Because she works with the Excess Resale Property Committee, they undertook to make that title change, and it's been approved by the commission.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, it should have went to HR first, before it came here.
I'm not aware of any requirement that would mean that a title change to an employee had to go through HR first.
It should.
What's that?
It should. HR should be the first somebody to have it.
Again, that's a county policy, and that's something that the Personnel Committee does have jurisdiction over, is county employment policy, and that's something the Personnel Committee can look into and make a decision on.
I guess the reason I'm saying that anytime we hire in the county, go through personnel. Don't come to a committee, a commission. It go through personnel. That's who it go through.
When a new employee is hired?
Yes.
I don't think that's the case. New employee hires aren't approved by the Personnel Committee. Those decisions are made by department heads and county officials within their own offices.
So in other words, personnel don't have a record of it.
Personnel Committee responsibility is to handle county policy with regard to employment.
I'm not talking about personnel committee, I'm talking about HR, human resource. That's the difference.
Right.
You got two different agencies. You got
Well,
personnel committee and then you got
HR assists with hiring, but they don't make the ultimate decision. That goes through, again, department heads and county officials hire their own employees with the assistance of the HR department.
I understand, but if there's a change, HR should be notified. If it's a change in their job title, they should be notified. It should go on record in their job.
I'm sure HR will be notified if there's been a change in an employee's title.
Commissioner Bryant.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn to our regularly scheduled February meeting.
Have a motion? Second. All in favor say aye. Roll call.
Abernathy. Aday. Alexander. Arnold.
Good motion.
Black. Bond. Brown.
Yeah.
Bryant. Mike Bryant. Here. Hall. Hicks.